as women, we're trying to grow our business. The one thing that I haven't figured out in my life is how to balance like personal and business. Like I either go really hard in one or really hard in the other. I haven't been able to find this happy medium. And so actually I was talking to Kaylani on the phone earlier today, and I was telling her, that, you know, trying to be a little bit more open to dating and this and that or whatever. How do you implement a relationship when you're also trying to grow a business and without non-prioritizing? Like, can you prioritize two things at once?
So, I want to answer that because I believe that people make time for things that they important to them, right?
Yeah.
I really believe that people make time for things that are important to them. But the reality is that there is actually an extreme scarcity of time, right? Like,
I thought you were going to say of men, of good, fine men.
That too.
Okay, no.
That
okay, no.
too.
That's why I sent y'all that other group chat. If you want to network, that's where you go. You know that link I sent you?
I said, what are the takeaways? What am I supposed to be looking at here? Okay, cool. But no, seriously, like a scarcity of time. So today, actually, one of my friends texted me, one of my longtime childhood friends, and she asked about my opinion about taking up a certain side hustle, right? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's real estate adjacent. I do know people that make good money doing it, but how does this relate to what you want to do? Like, why is this something that you just picked? Did you learn about it on the internet? Did somebody maybe perhaps attempt to sell you a course, or did you hear somebody talking about the side hustle? And my response to her was, yes, if you want to make money, you can do it. If you want to have balance in your life, to your question, Jade, you need to ask yourself, is this in alignment? So I'm currently in this season where I'm very clear, why I'm here on this earth, what my assignment is, what I'm intended to do. And all of my relationships, professional and personal, are synergistic to that purpose. So for me, one of my answers to that, or what I constantly challenge myself to do, is before I embark on a conversation, before I respond, before I say yes to an event, before I say yes to speak somewhere, before I agree to take a meeting or do anything, I'm asking myself, is this currently in alignment with where I'm headed? And that includes those personal relationships. Some personal relationships are just simply not in alignment with God's purpose on your life. And I'm going to just stop right there.
Oh, that's good.
Look, there's no such thing as work-life balance. Anyone that tells you that is lying, right? So nobody finds work-life balance. And I understand the argument of being equally yoked and finding people that have all the same things. I think the longer the list of the criteria is, the shorter the pool of your options are, right? And you just have to be okay with that. I don't think it's something we can look for, and I don't think that there's an ideal that we can achieve. But I do know that work-life balance is a myth. I don't think that there's any such thing as a work-life balance, especially if you are extremely ambitious like myself. I think this season of my life, I have really gotten to know myself. I grew up in a Islamic culture. I'm a Middle Eastern woman, and I have told myself my whole life, I'm a submissive woman. I'm a submissive woman. And to a very large extent, I am. But I'm also a successful woman. I'm also a woman that has established a life for myself. So I realized that this idea that I'm going to have to dim my light just a little bit to open that up, open this possibility up for dating and relationships, is not a priority for me. I'm tired of having the conversation about men being intimidated and men not liking women. I'm tired of men saying that ambitious women are unattractive. So I'm not bitter. I'm not fed up. I'm not saying I don't want to be in a relationship, but what I'm saying is I'm done with the conversation. Like, I'm no longer trying to justify the idea that because we are these ambitious, hardworking women, that we also have to make some compromises in certain areas of our life. Work-life balance is a myth. And I think that our topic, or our theme for this month, for this episode, is distractions, avoiding distractions. And one of the things I've tweeted and I've repeated multiple times is that unless you're walking in the same direction, it's a distraction, right? So imagine that I'm hiring someone who has an expertise in snowboarding, and that's what they've done their whole life professionally, and I need them to understand calculating tax returns. Well, I'm fighting an uphill battle. So even in our work, if we have a shared common goal and we are hiring support staff or creating partnerships to help us achieve that goal, then I think that's also parallels what we need to do in our personal lives. I have a vision, I have an understanding. I want my man to also have a vision and also have an understanding. And we need to be able to say, I'm going to lift you up here when you lift me up here. And when I see you down here, I want these capabilities, right? But I think that shared vision might be something like, it could be something like, I want to be the healthiest version of myself. It could be something like, I want a house that's 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms on 1 acre, and I want to grow my own food. There has to be some part of the vision that you share equally, and you are willing to work towards that, and you're both motivated and incentivized to do so. Otherwise, it's a major distraction. And I think that is really comparable to work. Because again, you're not going to hire someone who, like in a hospital setting. I mean, you're not going to hire me, Nasima, to come help you birth babies, because I will be scared as fuck and I'm not going to know what I'm doing, and I'm going to be grossed out. I was grossed out when my own baby was put on my chest. So I'm not built for that. So you got to be equally aligned with the goal and the skill sets to make it work. So that's my thought on that.
It's like what I do love about Kaylani, you said it earlier too. I was actually, the last 2 days I was at a real estate conference, and it was more about mindset than selling real estate, right? And one of the things that I realized that I need to do in my life and apply to my life, I have to rewrite my mission statement, right? I think my mission from 5 years ago or 3 years ago is completely different than what, it looked different then than it does now. So I realized I need to be clear on my mission. I need to be clear on my vision and where I'm going, and then very, very clear on my purpose. And when those lines are blurred and you really don't know how to weigh what is a distraction and what is not, because you're just kind of throwing things at the wall and trying to kind of figure things out, right? And so that was my aha moment. That was my takeaway over these last 2 days, amongst other things, of just getting organized and, time blocking, doing better with time blocking and time management. But like, having that one line of really making it clear where I'm going in life. So I commend you, Kaylani, that you know exactly right now at this stage in your life. I think that there was a few years ago, it was very clear to me, and then life pivoted and life changed. And now I think I'm a little afraid to find my mission right now, because everything,
because you can't unknow. You can't unknow it either, right? Because once you know and you establish what that is, you can't. Now you got to do something with it, right? This is something we talk about in Wire all of the time, and it's not rhetoric. And first of all, Jade, you have to give yourself grace, because your why, your mission, all of those things, they're going to change over time, right? Yeah. But I don't want that to get confused with how and what you do. You guys know, have we talked about the author Simon Sinek on here before? I think we might have. He has a book called Leaders Eat Last. And he is one of my favorite thought leaders. That is a white man. I would just, his brain is just so attractive because he really captures the essence of, he understands people, right? What do people respond to? And one of the things I heavily subscribe to, and we talk about this in Wire, like I said, is his concept of the golden circle, right? In the middle of the circle, it's a 3-ring circle, but in the middle, in the core of it is your why. Right outside of that is your how, and outside of that is your what. And this is it's a beautiful concept. If you guys do not know or have never heard of this, please look it up. It's called The Golden Circle by Simon Sinek. And how and what you do may change, but that why is really the core. Like and I got to push back to, I say this in Wire. This is a more public forum where I have to make sure that everyone is hearing me. But you had a why and a purpose before you became a mother or a caretaker or any of those things that that are your motivations now. What you do and how you accomplish that why can take on many shapes, many forms, many assignments, and many different things. So when you're thinking about that why, it's really taking inventory of all of your experiences, everything that's made you who you are up to this day, and also the inherent gifts in your that God has blessed you with, right? And saying, okay, this is where the impact is, that this is what I'm passionate about. This is where my fulfillment lies. And that should drive every decision that you make, from who you align yourself with personally and professionally, and then how you make decisions. When you were talking, I was thinking about, obviously distractions and what they look like, and what a distraction sounds like to me is really an attack of the enemy. If the devil's going to attack you, he's not going to run up to you and be like, hey, all right, I'm gonna start chasing you in about 5 seconds. You ready? Go ahead. Matter of fact, get a head start. I'm coming after you, and it's not gonna look like an attack. Attacks of the enemy are sneaky. Distractions are sneaky, and something that might look like a good opportunity, seem like a good opportunity, you have to realize that everything that's good is not God, right? So what is meant for you? And we can accomplish a lot off of the sweat of our own brow, off of our own sweat equity into something. We can squeeze out a result. We can squeeze out money. We can squeeze out income. But if it wasn't in alignment with what our purpose is, it's going to burn you out. You're going to get sick of it. You're going to get tired of it. And it's not going to fulfill you anyway. So the faster we can learn how to evaluate what's in alignment with our purpose, the quicker we can get into alignment, and the rest becomes easy. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure we all here have some example of divine favor. But when you're in alignment, things start happening for you that you can't even explain. And it's like, wow, how did I make that connection? How did I make this relationship? How did I meet this person? How did I know to do this? Because your gift will make room for you. So Jade, give yourself so much grace on that. And if you want to talk through, I'm the best. I love that part. So if we need to hop back on the phone, let me know.
You're so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. That's what's up. So look, I'm trying not to cry. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
no, that's really sweet. I really appreciate that. I sent out this because you're talking about kind of evaluating yourself. I sent out this questionnaire recently to some friends of mine. It's like a 7, and I'll send it to you guys so you can send it out. It's 7 questions, and it talks about what areas of your life, do you think that I need to change in? What is my superpower? Because I think oftentimes we need to also we think that we're projecting ourselves on the world a certain way, but it's so interesting to see. And I'm talking about obviously people that are close to you, your family, your friends, the people that truly love and care about you and want to see the best in you. And what areas do you think that I need to work on? But it's like a 7 questions, and you send it out and you get it back, and you're like, I never knew that people saw me in this way. And it's so encouraging, but it's also very fine-tuning, and it makes you have to look in the mirror, because a lot of mine was about perfectionism, and pride and things like that. And I know that those are areas that I need to work on, but I didn't realize that I was also projecting those on other people. You get what I'm saying? And so unless I get really, really, really super focused on those, I could probably stagnate myself in certain areas of my life.